Hi everyone, my name is Chan Wei Kai, metric number 299313. Now I would like to talk about the introduction of Green Book. Green Book is based on a true story from the 1960s century, a time when racism was still common in the US. It follows Dr. Don Shirley, a black pianist, and Tony Lip, an Italian-American driver, on a tour through the South. The first theme is prejudice and discrimination. Even though Dr. Shirley is rich and talented, people treat him unfairly just because he is black. He's not allowed to use certain bathrooms or eat in some restaurants. This shows both personal prejudice and unfair rules in society. The second theme is social perception. At first, Tony believed negative stereotypes about black people. Dr. Shirley also judges Tony. But as they spend time together, they begin to understand each other. This shows how our views can change when we take time to know someone better. The third theme is interpersonal relationships. Tony and Dr. Shirley start off very different, but they grow close. They support and learn from each other. Their friendship shows that real connection can help reduce prejudice. The fourth theme is social influence. Tony changes after being with Dr. Shirley. He becomes more respectful and kind. Dr. Shirley also opens up more. Their bond shows how people can grow through trust and experience. In the end, Green Book reminds us that people can change with time, respect, and open minds. Even those with different backgrounds can become true friends.
Hi doctor, my name is Siti Aida Natasha binti Nur Hasmadi. So my metric number is 299045. So today I would like to explain to you about social identity theory in movie Green Book. This theory actually explains how we define ourselves based on our group membership, like race or class, and how that affects our perception of others. In this movie, actually Tony Lip sees himself as part of the white working class in group. He views black person as them, shown clearly when he throws away glasses that used by their black workers. That is social categorization in actions. Then we have Dr. Shirley, a black man who does not fit typically group norms. He is wealthy, educated and refined, but not fully accepted by either black or white communities. His line in this movie, actually he said, if I am not black enough and I am not white enough, then what am I? Shows a deep identity conflict. But over time, as they travel together, Tony begins to see beyond group labels. When he defends Shirley in a restaurant, that's a turning point. He is no longer comparing groups, he is standing up for a friend. The final scene for this movie, where Shirley joins Tony's family for Christmas, prove that real human connection can overcome prejudice and break group barriers. So what I learned about the social identity theory, actually we does not just apply in movies. Actually, we also apply in our real life. We judge people by group all the time, and sometimes we also judge people by their skin color. So Tony and Shirley actually understanding someone personally can change everything. So that's all. Thank you.
My name is Nur Azila Sazmi binti Zuraimi Azana. My metric number is 300052. So I will present the question number 3, which is the social self and identity formation. This firm provides a thorough explanation of the psychological process of identity formation, impression management, self-concept, and self-esteem, especially as they relate to social context, culture, race, and class. Both characters go through extensive personal development as they deal with new circumstances, face bias, and put their identities back together in the context of developing social interaction and self-awareness. Green Book show how identity and personal growth happen through social experience. Like for example, Dr. Den struggle with being too black for whites and too whites for black, leaving him isolated. He managed his image to gain respect, but still face loneliness and racism. This reflects Erikson and Goffman theories. The second one is Tony Lip starts with racial bias but changed after seeing the injustice Shirley faced. He grew by reflecting on his value and adapting to a new social world. And the final one is the film proof that identity isn't fixed. Through friendship, shared goals, and respect, both characters break stereotype, supporting social identity theory, self-discrepancy theory, and outward contact hypothesis.
Ethical reflection and social responsibility. Let's begin by looking at the central ethical dilemma in Green Book. Dr. Zun is a renowned black pianist, but even as a guest of honor in certain venues, he still faced with racial discrimination. One striking example is when he is not allowed to use the same restroom as white guests or even eat with them. In response, Dun doesn't lash out in anger or kill the tour, but he chooses to continue and expressing his dignity through his art. This choice reflects what social psychologists call moral motivation, which is the ability to act in line with one's value even under intense pressure. Next, we will see the Tony's transformation. At the start of the film, Tony holds projected will and use racial slur casually, but after witnessing Don's daily humiliation, Tony starts to change. In one powerful scene, when Don is tiny entry the restaurant, Tony steps up and defends him and threatening to cancel the show. This shows the moral growth from being a passive bystander to someone who takes responsibility. So, what can the Green Book teach us about real life? First, don't show us that a social responsibility doesn't always require loud protests, and sometimes quiet persistence and self-respect are just as powerful. Second, Tony shows that people can change. Once he understands the reality, he decides to take moral action. The film also reminds us how dangerous silence can be. When people don't speak up, injustice will continue. That's why ethical reflection and social responsibility is matter, not just in a big moment, but also in the daily decision. As a firm suggests, we might not be able to change the whole world, but we can start by refusing to stand by.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Nafsha binti Abdul Mana. My metric number is 300059. I would like to continue the other point, which is question 5 about constructed reality and social commentary about the film Green Book. Green Book is 2018 film is more than just a film about friendship. It reflects powerful social psychology themes. First, it shows how racial stereotyping and in-group and out-group bias shape Tony's lived behavior, but these are challenged by Dr. Shirley's complexity. Tony later faces cognitive dissonance, questioning his belief after witnessing racism, which leads to moral growth. The film also highlights discrimination as a social norm, with most people staying silent. It's showing the bystander effect, while Tony stands up against injustice. Dr. Shirley's journey reveals identity conflict as he's not fully accepted by either the black or white community. Finally, their growing friendship reflects all pods contact hypothesis, where shared goals, equal status, and personal interaction help reduce prejudice and build empathy. The film powerfully shows how identity and understanding evolve through connections. Next, one key social issue in Green Book is systemic racial discrimination. The film shows how racism in 1960s America wasn't just personal bias, it was built into laws and everyday lives. Dr. Don Shirley, despite being a renowned pianist, is denied access to restaurants, bathrooms, and hotels because of his race. The Green Book guide itself symbolized how Black Americans had to navigate and segregated society. The film's contrast how Shirley is celebrated on stage but dehumanized off stage, powerfully exposing the injustice of a system that praises black talent but denies black dignity. Next, in my view, Green Book challenges social norms by portraying how an interracial in friendship can overcome prejudice even in a time of strict segregation. Tony begins with racist stereotypes, but through his relationship with Dr. Shirley, he learns to see beyond them. I believe they show how empathy and personal experience can break down bias. Dr. Shirley also challenges racial expectation by not fitting into typical society roles. However, the film does reinforce some norms by focusing mainly on Tony's growth, which reflecting the white savior narrative. I believe systemic racism still persists today, just in more hidden forms. Like the George Floyd case in 2020 is a clear example. It sparked global protests and exposed how racial injustice still exists in law enforcement. That's why I think real change requires not just legal reforms, but also education, empathy, and constant reflection on our own biases. That's all for me. Thank you.